Welcome back to another match of the shift for Deadlock Night Shift number 4. This week, our main focus was on the North American Challenger match of Melee Creeps up against Lil Troops. Now, Melee Creeps back in action here, went against their former teammate Apache Pop, all meeting head-to-head to see who could take on Hydra Nation in our finals. Let's see which team made it out. Melee Creeps with an early game comp, keep the pressure on all lanes. A scout getting the first kill of the game and the first Guardian 4 minutes and 30 seconds in.
And all you see here from Lil Troops continually giving up space in the middle as the Guardian gets pounded, and oh god, he actually landed that, Jason.
Melee Creeps continue to dominate the early game, getting all 3 Guardians in 7 minutes. After getting a first pick on Fish Cake, Lil Troops get down their first Guardian of the game, but maybe at the cost of their right lane Walker. Won't be here in time to help him out. Still going to come out of the Walker. The chase continue to go down on Apache Pop to secure this kill, and secure Walker on top will be phenomenal, but Mott has rotated in, not in time to save his teammate.
That is a wild chase down deep behind the Walker, and the Walker is just continuing to get pummeled. Even as Ivy taking damage in turn. One has to think that this Walker, if it doesn't fall now, is going to be pretty soon to fall. A little bit of evasion right now from Ivy, back and forth. Trying to make the most of the 100 HP of the returns. Deciding to come back on over. Still wants the Walker here, Jason. This is highly aggressive, but if they get the Walker, it's definitely worth it.
Realizing this 9k lead is getting a bit out of hand, Lil Troops group up for a push on the right lane Guardian to close the gap.
But Melee Creeps deciding, no, we don't have to give this up for free. Swap coming in early. No swap up right now for John. Just aerial mobility, staying alive way longer than you'd expect. May have bought time for the rest of his team to turn the tables.
Oh, is that a slowing hex coming through as well? Melee Creeps look to run the urn over to extend their lead, but get into a fight mid while pushing the left lane and leads into a rejuve take. Maybe the plan out of Melee Creeps is just to avoid the team fight, and maybe for Lil Troops it's just to kind of survive to get to that point to team fight.
Speaking of team fighting, it's starting to get hot and heavy here in middle. Ball opening up here for Scout for disruption. Saya goes down. Saya was looking for a lasso into the back, wasn't able to find it. And now under pressure, Fish Cake gonna have to drop Shout transformation, throws himself into the freezer, and this Kelvin play may be enough to save Paradox under the Amado dive, times out the rest of the Shout transformation. Paradox though still pretty low. Mott will pay the price in the end.
Now on the push with Rejuve in hand, Melee Creeps look to take the last Walker of the game and tunnel through Lil Troops base.
They handle it. Their Walker is what's at stake here, Jason.
Well, they do kill the catch on a Scout. Necessarily the best target to do so since he has Cube. He's going to have his Goo Ball in just a second. He actually gets burst down where he has a chance. Again, the Rejuve going to get him back alive yet again. His teammates going to be rotating to help out. They do get the finish on a Scout, so 1 kill has been confirmed. Man advantage in the hands of Lil Troops, but again, they still have so many players to deal with. I hear Shadow Transformation going off for Fish Cake. This mid Walker is going down over time, and Melee Creeps starting to come back in this fight.
Apache Pop, the storm has been quelled. The Walker is going down, and now look at this full bullet haze, completely operational. But again, the bullet dance just stymied by elevation yet again. Freezer being put on out. Rhino desperately trying to save and support the team, but you look at the HP and Lil Troops is getting whittled down left, right, and center. Renon is still absolutely healthy, laying in the bullet damage.
With the Rejuve now gone, Melee Creeps try to go for an urn deny, and Lil Troops chase it down for a fight. Renon technically can become immune to it if it times it perfectly, but we do see a fight breaking out on this right-hand side. Finally, Lil Troops trying to put the pressure on as they get an initial kill on the Xenon. Just as we talk about Stride not really being too scary, 1 kill is a good start, but they're not outlasting the damage coming back their way. Sai turns it back onto Mott, and Sai's continue to push in, gets the catch on his Stride, pulls him back into his team and says, you might get 1 kill, but you ain't gonna get more.
Barrel about to come back online.
I kind of called it earlier, ZP, but it looks like Stride might be able to escape.
Maybe not.
Okay, there we go. All's right in the world now. After getting a pick on Scion being down 25k, Lil Troops keep track of mid-boss spawn timer and try to rush it down before MC could respawn.
They have the timer, and they're immediately going for it as soon as mid-boss spawns. But you take a look at what's going on. The rest of Melee Creeps all heading on in, and maybe elevation won't hurt Renon this time. The bullet haze good to go as the mid-boss gets taken on down, but here comes the team fight over and in. Yamato opening up Chow transformation. Melee Creeps just taking free real estate here at the moment. Apache Pop drops the Storm Cloud off to the side. Is it going to be enough? They are able to get a few hits on the Rejuvenator, all of it in fact towards Lil Troops. So the Storm Cloud doing massive work here, Jason, and Melee Creeps not quite able to be the fearsome force that they thought they might have been.
They forced the team fight off the back of the Rejuvenator. They're exactly what they were looking for with the initial kill they had on the side to kick this one off, and they're going to come out relatively clean. From being 25k ahead to being equal in souls, the game is starting to slip away from Melee Creeps. Here onto Floss to deny the earn turn in, but they do pick it back up and get the secure on top of this. So that's that soul deficit they were behind him with like 20, almost 30k. It's completely gone now as we see another team fight break off of this.
Fish Cake just gets slaughtered right outside of the dome, and it is getting worse before it gets better right now for Melee Creeps. As you mentioned, the lead evaporated. Scout taking refuge in his own cube. Now gonna have to goo ball away as a pure escape maneuver.
This is exactly what you're looking for Little Troops. Good affliction comes through. Catches quite a few players on the side of Melee Creeps. Walking down to half HP, and honestly, if you're MC here, you almost just need to back away for they get a catch. Mott, again, another catch comes through, and Strike closed it down. And he talked about Mott as being one of the players to really look out for, and honestly, his paradoxical swaps have been opening up these kills and these team fights now here for Little Troops.
And it's just kill after kill coming in here, Jason. Stagger after stagger. The parry onto the Viscous ends up saving Stride's life just when you think Stride is about to go down.
Melee Creeps try to stop the rock, getting an earn turn in, but it just leads to a fight that they couldn't win. Turn in, but they're going to maybe lose a player. Someone getting caught out, completely surrounded by Little Troops, and you do not want to be going down a player here, especially the great paradoxical swap coming through directly onto John.
I think John's a bad early target, though. Still has a swap in reserve. Stormcloud comes out into the frozen dome on top of the two. However, knockdown going to be ending the storm. A little bit of adaptation here from Melee Creeps, who are pretty wounded overall from that engage. No one caught, but half of Melee Creeps is at half HP, and G-Freak now saying, let's change the equation. Death Slam comes out, puts Scout super low. Scout not dead, but not long for this world perhaps either. Renon caught on the side. John goes down, swap not enough to save. And with Melee Creeps having 2 down, with mid boss now being up, Lil Troops are going to try and get a little bit extra here, Jason, then go directly mid right after.
Being this late into the game, one team fight can spell the end, and Melee Creeps won the spelling bee on the other side. So I think they did a good job of preventing him from getting stronger in this game.
Melee Creeps trying to go for a bit of an ambush here. Up in the air is G-Freak, finally out of the CC, going for the Death Slam, picks up 2. Gets him to knock down. The Frozen Shelter, though, being over the Death Slam targets, ends up with 2 down right after. The combo between Lash and Kelvin really paying dividends. And with 2 down, Melee Creeps may be facing the beginning of the end. Lil Troops still with all 6 up. They lost 2 charges of Rejuvenator. That is a price they're more than willing to pay as they pick up another 2. And Jason, we're heading into the end game.
Yeah, the end game. Well, we're heading into the next game at this point, man. The base garden's going to be going down. The shrines, they should be taking a few seconds here. I mean, look at the respawn timers as well. The rejuve is still there for another 2 minutes of time. This patron's going to fall. And I think they just go for the finish here. Like, they have everyone up. They have the dome to heal up as well. Even the health nova there to get everyone a little bit extra topped off and healthy. I think this is it. Like, Little Troops said, they pulled off the comeback here.
Yep, they're going to sit here and immediately unload on the patron. Scout's going to try and delay a puddle punch, but there's only so much a single Viscous and Haze can do. The patron getting burned on down, and that is going to be Lil Troops defeating Melee Creeps, moving on for yet another match against Hydra Nation.
Even though Melee Creeps did let things slip through their fingers towards the end of the game, it was still great to see what they could do all coming together within just 1 week of time and not much practice. But for Little Troops, the real challenge laid ahead, another rematch against Hydra Nation. And if you want to see how that played out, make sure you guys go check out the VOD and like and subscribe here to the Deadlock Night Shift.